Why is the silver price falling? Is this the time to buy silver? What caused the price of silver to fall? It seemed like silver had found an easy route toward the $18.00 per ounce, or even $20.00 per ounce, mark. Instead, its latest price has fallen to a range between $16.17 and $16.52 per ounce. Silver is following gold, which has also given up some of the gains it made since the start of 2018. So what has caused the price of silver to fall? When discussing prices in a speculative context, such as precious metals or equities, nothing is certain. Still, the overall market is sending a rare signal of clarity. The Dow Jones Index has given up about 12%. That means the stock market is in full correction mode. That would normally imply silver, and gold, to move higher. The key is the normally part, because there's nothing normal about the market now. Much of the 2017 and January 2018 bull fever was driven by the tax cuts. Why the silver price is going down? At first, stocks rose on the expectations of tax cuts. Since late December, when Congress signed the reform into law on December 19, they rose on expectations of higher corporate earnings. It was a veritable orgy of optimism. Some companies announced employee bonuses, while others announced bigger investments, and investors responded in kind. The tax cuts were to stocks what an afterburner is to a jet engine. Yet those very tax cuts are the very reason stocks and precious metals are dropping. Many analysts and investors expect the Federal Reserve to lift interest rates at a faster and more significant pace than anyone expected to counter inflation. Ironically, the January jobs report and the 200,000 jobs that the economy added, is the trigger for inflation. In fact, the Fed has been muted on the topic, making no mention of lifting rates. However, it has not intervened to dismiss interest rate fears, adding more fuel to the fire and the fear. The higher interest rates will likely increase the US dollar's value compared to other major currencies. And typically, a rising dollar weakens silver and other precious metals. Will the silver price continue to fall? In fact, the better question might be, is it a good time to buy silver? Is now a good time to buy silver? It's probably a great time to buy silver. Investors have ignored silver without reason. The low interest rates of the past 10 years, near zero for most of that time, have encouraged risky and aggressive behavior. The Fed rigged the game in favor of equities rather than gold or silver. Now that inflation is knocking at the door and interest rates are supposed to go higher, silver and gold should win back many investors, looking for a haven for their cash. If the silver prices have not yet responded to the change of investment climate, it's because of something we might describe as, for lack of a better term, confusion. The market is falling, yet for all intents, the economy, on paper, faces its most favorable prospects in years. There was no subprime crisis prompting the market's collapse in the week ending February 9, 2018. In addition, there's an intruder in the market, and it's called cryptocurrencies. These have risen and fallen dramatically in a matter of a few months. For a while, it seemed that the most popular of all cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, was slated to take over gold as the sanctuary to reach in the event of an equity sell-off. That idea came to a swift conclusion when Bitcoin collapsed, giving up 50% of its 2017 gains in a matter of days. However, there are still those clinging to the hope that it will recover, and rather than lose everything, they're hanging on. Many even bought their bitcoins using their credit cards. As you can imagine, they're holding on, and others are probably unable to sell. Then there are others, such as Ariel Rubini, the NYU professor who was one of the first to warn about the subprime crash in 2007 to 2008, who expects Bitcoin to fall back to zero. Simply put, the smart money is not in Bitcoins. There's no smarter money than the Ontario Teachers' Pension Fund. They're world famous for the discipline and comprehensive research that goes into every stock they pick. As it happens, the fund has no Bitcoins. Therefore, the usual volatility indicators and investors' response have been distorted by an interference in the system. The facts, however, are clearer. Inflation will make its long-awaited return to the economic discourse in 2018. Many have forgotten what it is, and some analysts on Wall Street, those who started their careers in 2008, have never experienced it in their professional lives. This will influence the way silver and other metals respond. But as the financial picture becomes clearer, silver stands to make big gains this year. Are silver prices going to go up in 2018? Silver prices are going up in 2018. Where are silver prices going? Are silver prices going up or down? Amid the massive risks that could stir turbulence in the equity markets and the new fad, Bitcoin, why worry? Some traditional sources of investment, which have represented the very concept of wealth and security, still have plenty to offer. Gold is one. But silver offers you a relatively cheaper entry into precious metals trading. Will silver prices increase in 2018? There's no such thing as a crystal ball, but all indications suggest it's a good time to consider silver. There's no need to lose sleep over the question, are silver prices going up? They are. From last Christmas to January 24, 2018, silver prices have increased from $16.40 to $17.47. That's an improvement of almost 7%. Granted, some stocks and cryptocurrencies have shown bigger gains. But they could also fall harder. In some cases, they could even wipe out all your savings. There's little chance that anyone will lose the totality of their savings by investing in silver. It's true that prices have not yet recovered since the $47.90 set at the peak of the commodities boom in April 2011. Unlike commodities-based stocks, like certain mining industrial companies, and other stocks, silver still has a substantial price and value. Consider the ill-fated rare earth miner Molycorp Inc. It peaked at about $80 per share. It has long stopped trading after shares fell to a price of mere cents. The silver price forecast. Will silver prices increase in 2018? Yes, also because of the overall and economic context that is lifting the tide for all metals. Many factors will drive precious metals in 2018. Some of these are being ignored by the public and analysts alike. The dollar is foremost among the mainstream's miscalculations. Rather than moving higher because of the expected inflation and the Federal Reserve's response, interest rates will not rise 3 times, as Janet Yellen and the Fed had expected. Her replacement as Fed chair, Jerome Powell, is dovish and inclined more toward maintaining the current 1.5% than risk a market implosion with another hike, or series of hikes, in 2018. Sooner or later, the stock market will start to reveal its Achilles heel. Equity prices are at record levels and beyond. The tax cuts have already been priced into the value of many stocks, thus they can't move much higher. With every step that investors take to push the Dow Jones beyond its already unsustainable heights, the risk of a crash or a significant correction increases. Silver will be the most accessible refuge for investors' savings once the financial walls start crashing. Note that the Federal Reserve is justifiably reluctant to push for higher rates. There's no clear signal at which point a rate hike could prompt a recession. A recession in the post-Trump tax climate, with fewer funds for social welfare or social shock absorbers, could spark social unrest, given the galactic income gap that persists in America. The last time the U.S. went into recession was when the Fed raised rates in 2005, peaking in 2006. That caused the many who bought subprime mortgages to no longer be able to afford their homes. The only solution was a rate cut, which no doubt contributed to the commodities bull market that peaked in 2011. Thus, the answer to the question, will silver prices increase in 2018, and similar questions is all but certainly yes. Will silver prices rise? Silver is still there. It will be there even in the event of a massive catastrophe. The silver price forecast for 2018 is favorable. Should it continue to move at even a quarter of the current pace, just over 1% a month, silver prices could well end up in $20.00 per ounce territory this year. Indeed, even some of the big banks are banking on a favorable silver price forecast for 2018. TD Securities Incorporated, a Canadian institution, which implies expertise in the metals market, expects silver to reach $20 per ounce, which represents almost 20% over the 2017 high. That alone should make silver a shining target for investors looking for something safe and profitable. To put it another way, investors cannot ignore silver in 2018. Its price is heading toward $20 per ounce, which has been the ceiling, or barrier, since 2016. Compared to gold, moreover, TD analysts expect silver prices to be less volatile, which produces greater profit potential. Gold, of course, also represents a safer investment than stocks in 2018. But silver has the advantage of having taken a heavier beating over the past few years. Therefore, it has more room to gain. Or, in the vernacular, it's undervalued, especially considering the variety of its industrial and decorative applications. From jewelry to tableware to photography to electricity, silver is essential. Most electronic switches use silver, so cheaper metals or synthetic materials cannot replace it.
Cryptocurrency News Channel. Your new future. Thank you. Follow us on YouTube.